Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune in to the Ladies in Red.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ladies in Red. We are back and we're smiling. We're smiling, mate. It's felt like a while since we've been properly celebrating a win like that, but we got it. We got the win. Wasn't the most convincing, but the 3 points is what matters today, isn't it? Mace, thank you so much for joining me again. Firstly, how are you feeling about that?
Thank you so much for having me on. And to be honest, I'm honestly so glad that we've won, because these points now are absolutely crucial to get into top four, to get into the Champions League next season. And Ralph's tactics, his substitutes worked extremely well and it paid off.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll talk about substitutes in a second, but we said it beforehand. West Ham are no mugs. They're going to be tough. They're going to be up for it. The midfield battle with Declan Rice in there as well. Declan Rice, I thought, yet again, looked outstanding. Everything was just being broken up. And I think the game was frustrating because both teams were kind of cancelling each other out. It was very scatty, wasn't it? Both teams giving the ball away, putting a lot of pressure on. I love the fact that we pressed a lot higher, especially in spells in that first half. We were pressing really high, forcing their errors as well. But yeah, it was just frustrating. Like I say, two teams cancelling each other out. Two teams obviously going for that top four as well. But we got the win. We got the win. And you mentioned the substitutes there. First, let's talk about Martial to start with. He came on. And me, I've called him Anthony Partial for a while now, because for me, it's just too much in and out of games. You don't see enough of him. But I've got to give him credit where it's due. I thought he came on, and to be honest, obviously he was involved in the goal. There's a few little moments just before it as well. But I thought he looked fairly bright when he came on.
Yeah, I did as well. And to be honest, he was playing more on that left-hand side, where we have seen Martial play at his best when he seems a lot more electric is when he is on his left. And if, for example, he is going to be playing under Ralf, perhaps the best option is for him to play on the left, because I think that's where he gets that a little bit more enthusiasm rather than up top, because he seems to be a whole lot more lazy when it comes in that area. And we know he's got that pace of a winger too.
Yeah, and it likes to chop inside. And you know what? When Martial is directing goes at a man, like, he's so scary. And I think we've lacked that directness. And Elanga has come in and brought that freshness, and it's been refreshing to see a player have that fearlessness. And I think Martial came and he took his opportunity really well. Cavani as well with the assist. Did you think it was onside or offside, that winning goal?
Onside.
I knew you'd say that. It was close. I'm going to say it was close. That's all I'm saying. But Rashford, I'm absolutely buzzing for him. I was buzzing for the other night, but to come on and get the winner, that's got to do wonders for his confidence, hasn't it? We both, I know we both very much stuck to by Rashford and said, stick with him. We hope he'll come good again. You don't turn a bad player overnight. And do you think now, surely this has got to kick him into some kind of form, because he's been so poor. His head's seen down for a long time now. It's nice to see him smiling again and scoring goals, isn't it?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's good to see Rashford getting them goals, having that little bit of confidence. And I think what Ralf has done is such a good thing, taking him off the starting 11, putting that little bit less responsibility onto him, putting him as an impactful sub, as I thought was the best option for Rashford at this moment in time. And when we are seeing him as an impactful sub, it works. Like, you look at Leicester when he scored, you look at Villarreal as well, and you look at this game as well in particular, and the last game with Brentford, and it shows that Rashford as an impactful sub is great right now. Give him then a couple of more chances as a substitute, bring him on like 50th, 60th minute each time until he starts getting a whole lot more confident with himself. And then we can put him back in that starting 11 lineup, and Elanga being there just creates that a whole lot more competition for both Rashford and Martial.
Yeah, and what I liked about Elanga was his pressing as well.
Yes.
Defensively, I think he did a solid job. I know we talk about a lot what he does on the ball. He's fearless. He runs at defenders. He makes things happen. He's got an eye for goal himself, but it's what he did defensively as well. Like, constantly chasing the balls down. He's very physical as well, and I think he brings that to the team. But yeah, I think Ralf deserves a lot of credit for his substitutions today. I do think the subs kind of won the game. Yeah, I'm buzzing. And you know what? I know we didn't play the best, but we stuck till the end. We carried on going until the very last whistle. And that's what United is all about. And I love seeing a win like that. The fact that Rashford has scored tops it all off as well. But Maze, I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely buzzing with that. And not necessarily the performance, but the manner in which we got the 3 points.
Yeah, exactly. There's a difference between winning and playing good and then losing and playing good. But we played, and then when we've won, sometimes we've not been very convincing. But today we've been. I'd say that this is probably one of our better performances what I have seen for quite a while, because it felt like we had that fight from the very. I say at the first 10 minutes was a bit slow getting into the game, but once we got into the game, we had a lot more fight in us to actually try and get the 3 points, and that's exactly what we done. We didn't give up, which we have seen from Manchester United in the past, and we stuck right to the very end, just as you said, and got that last minute goal. For me, it truly did pay off.
It did, yeah. Aman, thank you so much for that super chat. Says Sophie, yay. What a win for your time. Let's call it Ralph time, shall we? Let's hope that Ralph makes a habit of this as well. But yeah, nice win. It always feels good to score in the last few kicks of the game as well, isn't it? And like I said, for Rashford to do it as well. But look, we spoke about West Ham beforehand, me and Zio before the game, saying we've got to be wary of certain characters. But I have to be honest, I think we kept them fairly quiet. Genuinely, I know we were kept quiet ourselves, but I thought defensively, we looked fairly solid today, and obviously it's already seen Varane going down and whatnot. And I have to say, Maguire, he came in, and I felt like he had that one dodgy tackle where he got a booking, but other than that, I thought defensively we looked great today.
I agree. I actually think Harry Maguire looked absolutely solid today, and I think the reason for that is because with all this what's coming out about Ralph not wanting him at the club, he's looking for a replacement, and the fact he dropped him for the Brentford game, used him as a substitute, he's not been playing for a bit anyway. I think that's kind of made him think, oh wow, like, if I don't put my act together here, I'm not going to have a starting 11 place, because we all know that Ralph, he will drop people if he wants to drop people. It's shown that he will drop them people. So I think it's kind of put something in the back of Harry Maguire's mind, thinking it doesn't matter if I'm captain or not, I will get dropped if I'm not playing well. And I think today it really did show that, and he had a terrific game, Harry Maguire. I couldn't fault him one bit, and I have been highly critical of Maguire this season.
Yeah, and hopefully them two can to form a relationship. I know that we say that, we'd rather see Lindelof or Bailly or even Jones in there rather than Maguire at this moment in time, but I fully mean it when I say I hope Maguire can hit that form that he had in the Euros, because he was outstanding. It's just been so frustrating for us United fans that he hasn't even got close to that. So hopefully he can go on a run with Varane next to him. We need that consistent back four. What's your thoughts on the fullbacks today, Tellers and Dalot as well? Dalot, I think it just seems to be getting stronger and stronger in my opinion.
Yeah, I really did like Dalot. Dalot was definitely the better fullback in today's game. I think on the Brentford game, Dalot was absolutely terrific, and I say him again today. He was so good on his one-on-one, so good in going forward, and he was maintaining such high up the pitch as well, which we never see off Wan-Bissaka. And this is what I mean. Like, if he does carry on the way he is, there's no reason why he couldn't be a modern day right back like we see over Reece James. Because he's defensively he's improving, and he's being alongside Varane. When you've got a Varane alongside you, you are going to look and feel a lot more confident defensively. And he's going forward is terrific as it is. So there's no reason why he can't be a modern day centre back now.
Yeah, definitely. We want it in the Rangnick of time. Okay, I'll get my coats as the Red Devil. I like it. I see what you did there. Diego says keep hitting the likes, please, guys. I'd appreciate that, and thank you so much, Diego. I just got to say, I'm glad that we finally bagged the goal at the end. The game was so boring to watch, but fair play to Rashford for getting the winner. Like I say, the subs when they came on, I feel like they really changed the game for us. Martial looked really sharp, Cavani getting that assist as well, and Rashford looking sharp, getting a goal as well to boost his confidence. It's nice to see the squad being utilised as well, being able to have that impact from the bench, isn't it? So, yeah, full credit to Ralph today for the changes he made. Dalot did look good, looked really good. And like I said, I feel like he's getting better with each game that he's playing. Ahmed says, great win, though it covered an average performance from our midfield to attack. For a change, Harry was good. Yeah, he was good. He was good. We have to give credit where it's due. And he was good. And that feeling will never die. Big love, ladies. Thank you, Jamie. I totally agree. Scoring at the end of the game to get the winner against rivals, you'd say, for that top four as well. Like, we should be feeling a lot more confident. And it's just great for the morale in the change rooms, isn't it? Obviously, there's been a lot of rumours going around, circulating lately. To get a positive result like that in the manner that we did as well, I mean, it's only going to be good for us, surely, mate.
Yeah, of course, it's only going to be better now. If we continue the way we did play today and we do help each other, if it does get better creatively, there is no reason why we can't aim for that top 4. And I think when Paul Popper comes back, I think that will only improve, because we all know how Paul Popper is creatively in that midfield too, when he is alongside Matic, or if, for example, alongside Scott McTominay, because we've seen that in the Champions League. So once Paul Popper comes back, I think it will be a lot better and a whole lot more of an advantage for Manchester United coming to near the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously next up it's Middlesbrough in the Cup. Do you expect us to rotate for that one? And maybe even players like Martial, like I say, he's come on today, had impact, played really well. Do you think players like that will come into the team for that one? Or do you expect Ralph to go really strong again?
To be honest, I think he will probably rotate on this one. The reason for that is because Aston Villa, we all knew that Aston Villa, with Steven Gerrard coming in, he would have wanted to try and knock Manchester United out the cup. So it allows now Ralph with Middlesbrough thinking, right, I can rotate a little bit. Let's put Hannibal through, for instance, put Martial his chance, Lingard can have his shot, so can Donner. I wouldn't rotate it too much, but I would rotate it a little bit, so it just gives out more opportunities for some players who I haven't had much game time at the moment, and Phil Jones could be another one who should come in for the Middlesbrough game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And you might even see the likes of Luke Shaw playing, Wan-Bissaka playing, being as though they haven't been playing regularly in the league. So I'm not going to say it's a weaker team as such. It's still a team that should be good enough to beat Middlesbrough. But those key characters that you've mentioned there, Donny is another one. Players who we haven't had much rotation with. This is the game to play them in, surely. But yeah, we want to get a trophy. We want to get a trophy. So even though I'm saying we should rotate, we can't be complacent, and we need to take that game seriously. And like I say, we should be feeling full of confidence following what's happened today. McTominay, I feel, could be important in the middle. I think he could even learn to be a key player in the centre. Says Courtney. McTominay, obviously last game he looked quality, and today, like Declan Rice, you'd have to say was kept fairly quiet. Souček in the middle as well. Two of their key players really, and I felt like we battled well in that middle today.
Yeah, and I think it. To be honest, with Declan Rice and Souček, it's so hard to keep them quiet, because we all know how well defensively that Declan Rice is, and Souček, how well Souček and Declan Rice goes forward too. So for Fred, Scott, and Bruno, because it was a 4-3-3 formation, for all three of them to keep them quiet, it was absolutely terrific. And I wanted to give a big praise for Bruno Fernandes. Even though he gave the ball away a couple of times, he was all over the pitch, pressing so much. It just felt like wherever the camera was, Bruno Fernandes was there, because he wanted to win the ball back for the team, and his energy did help Manchester United massively.
Yeah, and I heard the commentator saying on my stream anyway, said something like Bruno's being criticised for his attitude and his work rate. And I was thinking, that's one thing I think nobody's ever criticised Bruno for. For giving the ball away, yeah, but not for a lack of work rate. I think he always works hard week in, week out. Like you say, covers every blade of grass. And a lot of people keep saying it, but people believe he's our captain, our true captain. But yeah, you are right. Led by example today, pressing from the front, all over the pitch, trying to dictate the play, dropping deep as well. He had more of a free role, and he did the same against Brentford. And I think that definitely suits him. Rather than being restricted to a position, I think Bruno in that free roam position is definitely more effective, isn't it? And Lawbreaker said, if you angle the camera just right, Cavani was onside. I'll take that. I'll definitely take that as well. And Ian's picked up and said, Maisie's hair looks great today. Ian. Really suits her. It does, Maisie. It does suit you, by the way.
Thank you.
Fred's control and strength on the ball is very, very poor. What's your thoughts on Fred? Obviously, we spoke about McTominay. I don't think Fred did too bad today, if I'm honest. I thought he battled well in there.
Yeah. I think Fred has had a good game, to be honest. I couldn't fault Fred too much neither. He had one of the shots on target, even though maybe he should have buried that, but he still had a shot on target. And if you look at Fred's stats for this season, 2 goals, 3 assists, considering we have hardly ever seen Fred score or Fred to assist, knowing he's got 5 goals and assists just this season in the league, I think it's probably been one of his best seasons at the moment at Manchester United.
Yeah, I don't think Fred is our long-term answer in that midfield. Yeah. I'm totally honest. But
He's
all I'm going to say is
I'm not
I want to sit here and say, oh, Fred played badly. I don't think he played badly. I thought, like I say, their midfield was a worry today, and I feel like our midfield kind of matched them, kept them quiet, and we quiet with a win. So you have to give them credit for that. But yeah, I don't think it was too bad. Amundsen said it wasn't bad. He just gets pushed off the ball a bit easy. He's very small, isn't he, Fred? But he does get about, and I love his tenacity in there. And you can never knock his work rate. If nothing else, you can never knock it. But I just felt like we kept their midfield quiet today. And like I said, I think the game could have been won or lost in there. Beforehand, talking about it with the likes of Royce in there, I was fearing it. But I have to give them credit where it was due, and I thought they did well. What's your thoughts on Greenwood today? Like, how did you think he figured? Because a lot of people obviously have been saying he's a bit selfish and whatnot. I think Greenwood always offers a threat. I think there was a few times today, especially in the first half, where he had the defender one-on-one, and both times he tried to cut in on his left. But I think he kind of he should have maybe switched it up and gone into his right. He's a bit predictable. But other than that, I think he always looks a threat, mate.
Yeah, I think everybody who we play against knows that Greenwood is one of the biggest threats from Manchester United. And the reason for that is he is just as good on his left and his right foot. I think he's absolutely brilliant, Greenwood. And I do look at the game, the one in particular in the first half where Bruno passed him the ball and it felt like he was dawdling a little bit rather than just shooting straight up. And I think if he did try and make it, he could have potentially got a shot on target, maybe even a goal. But that doesn't matter because I think Greenwood, he's still got a long time to improve. He's still only very young, and he's got such influential players there in the dressing room of Ronaldo and Edinson Cavani, which we know that Greenwood is already doing one-on-one sessions with Edinson Cavani. So if he learns off both of them players, we all know the potential what Mason Greenwood can have in several years to come.
Yeah, definitely. Nino said there, West Ham robbed. I can understand the frustration. I can understand it. But like I say, we kept going until the end. We kept pushing and pushing. And eventually that paid off, as you said, Maze. The subs, I think, changed the game a bit. And we did keep West Ham fairly quiet. Obviously, had that one header, didn't they, in the second half. But other than that, really, I just felt like we defended well. We defended well as a unit. And like I say, Ralf deserves credit for the subs that he made as well. But who was the standout player for you? And obviously in the chat, guys, let me know your thoughts as well. But who was the man of the match for you on that? And this is a hard one to call, to be fair.
It is
really
a very hard one to call. It's extremely hard. Oh, if I'm gonna pick, I think my standout player, I'm gonna have to go for Bruno Fernandes. I just felt like he was all over the pitch, and he definitely did help us in terms of attacking threat and defensively. So I'm gonna go with Bruno Fernandes for me as my man of the match.
I thought Bruno played well. I thought Dalot played well. I thought Maguire played well. I think there was many that, to be fair, could have got it. It's nice to be in that situation. It was the same against Brentford. How long has it been? Man of the match, I'll straight away De Gea because no one else has really done anything. That's how it's been for a while now. But yeah, I think Bruno definitely played well. I thought Varane played well. Maguire, Dalot. And then Martial obviously coming on, Rashford coming on, and Cavani coming on as well and having an impact. But most consistent throughout today, I'd probably agree with you on Bruno Fernandes. I thought he was influential throughout. And I'm loving that. It feels like the old Bruno is coming back. Like it felt like that the other night, and it felt like that again today. So hopefully, Bruno can now go on a run. Zoe said, I thought Royce was brilliant. Didn't deserve to be on the losing side. He was. He was their standout player for sure. The amount of times that he killed some of our attacks just with the little interceptions. Yeah, he just covered the ground really well. But we don't expect anything different from him, to be fair, do we? Man of the match was the referee for letting us score, then blowing the whistle straight away after, says Ian. And then Amon said, I'll give it to Harry or Bruno. That would be probably my top two choices as well, Maguire or Bruno. But it's nice to have more than one player. Definitely wasn't De Gea because he didn't have much to do today. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing anyway.
Exactly. We finally give him a rest for once. Another West Ham player who I think actually stood out for me was actually Bowen. Because I think Bowen, for me, was their biggest threat. He was the one who was going on the counter-attacks. He was the one who was making them long runs. Because I remember that one in particular long run from a counter-attack, and Bruno was trying to chase after Bowen for it. But Bowen still managed to get the better of Bruno. And I think a lot of the time Bowen did cause that threat for Manchester United, but it just wasn't. It was just a bit of a shame for him. He was also on the losing side to me.
Yeah, Bowen is a player beforehand that I mentioned because he scored some important goals already this season. It just always seems a problem for the opposition. Like you say, he kind of rats after every ball and his quality on the ball as well. Like, yeah, he's definitely a player that for me is up to his levels recently for West Ham. But yeah, I'm not going to say unfortunately he's on a losing team. I'm glad he's on the losing team in the most brutal way possible. But he did play well. Him and Royce stood out, definitely. Antonio, I thought we kept him fairly quiet as well because he's obviously one that I worried about in terms of his pace against Maguire. But I thought Maguire and Varane handled him very, very well as well. But we're smiling. It hasn't ruined our weekend. We can actually have a nice weekend now and celebrate. And Maze, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. If you can just shout at your channel as well so people can just go and obviously subscribe over there.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is Devils United. I do Manchester United content both on the men and the women's football. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers on there. And you can also find me on my Twitter, which is at @2_MUFC Mais.
Go make sure you give her a follow and subscribe to her channel as well. She does some fantastic content, both for the men's and the women's, as you just spoke about there. Women's, to be fair, putting a smile on our faces after the Arsenal game. Hopefully they can keep that up as well. But yeah, definitely go and give her a subscribe, 100%. And thank you so much for joining me. Guys, if you are new, please hit the subscribe on Ladies in Red. I'd appreciate that so much. And obviously, if you have put a comment in there, I don't ignore them on purpose to get through as many as I can. Just drop a comment afterwards and I always double check and I will reply to you there. Follow myself, Soph on Twitter, Soph with a kiss on the end of it on Instagram. Enjoy your weekend. Keep smiling, United fans, and we will see you very soon.